Steve Jobs, Revolution in Technology. Steve Jobs was born in San Francisco, California on February 24th, 1955. His biological mother was Joanna Simpson and father was a Muslim named Abdul Fattah John Jandali. They were unwed and Steve was given for adoption. He grew up in Los Altos where he went to Homestead High in 1969. He enrolled in a popular electronics class where he met Stefan Wozniak, his future associate. Steve went to Reed College in Oregon where he dropped out after a couple of months. After this, he and Wozniak started working on making their own computer in his mother's garage. After his first production, which was liked by senior computer engineers, they started to make more. After the success of the first Apple computer, they started making Apple II, which was based on the Apple I design, but in many ways was a huge breakthrough. The Apple II revolutionized the way computers are made today. Steve is the one who created the idea of personal computers and the idea of colored screens. This revolutionized and changed the whole computing industry. The first personal computer was the Apple II, and the latest personal computer made by Steve was the MacBook Air. The reason the Apple computers are now one of the best laptops on the market is because of the technology used in them. For example, the MacBook Air uses the latest and best quality Intel Core processors. This processor is 2.5 times faster than the previous generation, which is in most of the regular laptops. So you see, Apple is ahead a generation or even more.
Not many people know about Steve Jobs' career in Pixar. In 1985, he was forced out of Apple in a power struggle, and in 1986, he bought the computer division for Lucasfilms called Pixar. At that time, Pixar was a hardware company, and one of the employees made short films to show off their capabilities. While Steve was with Pixar, it made some very successful movies, including Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 2. In 2006, Steve sold Pixar to Disney, and Disney took Steve's success and turned it into more success with big blockbusters like Cars and Toy Story 3, which is the highest grossing cartoon movie ever. With this technology, Steve affected the entertainment for children. Pixar would have never ever been the same without him.
Another genius creation which revolutionized an industry was the iPod Classic, which revolutionized the music industry. Before the iPod, there were devices in which you could listen to music, but they were too big, bulky, and weighed too much. And also, most of them had the capacity to have 10 through 15 songs only. But the iPod Classic has a memory power to hold 40,000 songs and is not too big compared to the others. The newest addition to the iPod family was the iPod Nano. This little device is very small, has a touchscreen, and has a capacity to hold at least 4,000 songs and 16 hours of video.
Steve Jobs also revolutionized the gaming industry with the iPod Touch. This device allows you to play games, listen to music, and surf the web. This device also has great graphics at 326 pixels per inch, making it the highest resolution iPod screen ever. It also has HD video recording, iOS 5, and iCloud. iCloud is a feature which comes with all new Apple devices, which saves photos, music, documents, contacts, and applications automatically and wirelessly to all other Apple devices with iCloud. He also revolutionized the tablet industry by creating the iPad in 2010. Before this, the tablets were not commonly used and known about. But after this creation, the tablets are used in business, education, and leisure. All iPad 2s come with a dual-core A5 chip that makes it twice as fast. Combined with 10 hours of battery life, makes it the best tablet on the market. It also has iOS 5, iCloud, LED backlit display, and great multitasking abilities. And now, iPads are being used as very important and useful tools in gaining knowledge. They have made textbooks available on iPads for free. Instead of having a big, heavy, and non-interactive textbook, you can have an iPad, which is very light, portable, and the textbooks on the iPad are very interactive to make learning easier and more fun.
In January 2007, Steve Jobs revealed the long-anticipated Apple smartphone called the iPhone. It revolutionized smartphones and touchscreens. It was the first legitimate phone on which you could play games, surf the web, and listen to music. In October 2011, Apple released the iPhone 4S. This phone has a dual-core A5 chip, an 8-megapixel camera, iOS 5, iCloud, and the all-new Siri. Siri on the iPhone 4S lets you use your voice to send messages, schedule meetings, place phone calls, and much more. Ask Siri to do things just by talking the way you talk. After talking about all the great technology Steve made, you can see that technology he made is better in many ways, but the three main ways are their design, their speed, and durability.
How long have you been using your Apple devices, and are you satisfied with their performance?
I have been using my Apple devices since I was very young. I played on them, I've done homework on it, and my dad even uses it for his job. I love my Apple devices.
How do you think the technology Steve Jobs made is better than the technology in any other device from other manufacturers?
I think that the technology that Steve Jobs has made is faster, has a better design, and is more durable than any other devices from other manufacturers.
As you can see, Steve revolutionized many industries. We thank Steve for his great ideas and improvements to technology. Without Steve, the technological world that we have now would not be so advanced. If Steve were to live and continue his great work, the high-tech world would be 10 years ahead of its time.
Don't lose faith. Don't settle. Stay hungry